Howdy everyone, Pocho here with an Age of Magic video, and in today's video we're doing the Hero Spotlight for Astoria, the range damager for the Cloud Wanderers, and that is correct. She is the range damager even though she is heavily magic based, so it's not a translation issue, it is what it is. We'll go over this character's stats, her abilities, have a look at the animation in the arena, and talk a bit about how this character is going to affect the Cloud Wanderers, and we'll have a bit of a playthrough as well at the end. So jumping into the stats, she has a whopping 10 million HP. However, in terms of the Cloud Wanderers, it's the lowest HP of the ones available so far. Her speed is massive at 268. She's going to go before most characters in the game. 268 is nothing to be embarrassed about. She is packing 100%. I'd be looking under that dress because, you know, she's carrying something down there. Armor, 172k. Magic damage resistance, 331k. Basic magic damage, 1.1 million. Critical hit chance, 47. Again, really high. Magic critical damage, 1.4 million. So like I said, even though she's a ranged damager, she is heavily magic based. So keep that in mind. I think that is the theme, the generic theme for the Cloud Wanderers, is they're a heavy magic based team, which I'm not against. I don't mind. I think it adds to their strengths and weaknesses. There may be teams in the future that work really well against magic-based teams. There may be teams in the future that are really weak to magic-based teams. So I'm glad with the theme overall. So we'll jump into the arena now. We'll have a look at the characters' abilities, the animations, and yeah, we'll go from there. Moving into the arena, we have Astoria's basic attack. Stars behind the clouds, triggers the range damager class mark, deals damage to the target and 2 more random targets, has a 20% chance per allied wanderer to attack 1 more time. So she's going to get 6 doses of damage out here. And in terms of basic attacks, I think this might be in the top area of output in damage altogether. Though it is spread out, overall, I think it has the potential to be one of the higher damaging basic attacks. So we'll go ahead and look at the animation, and she will attack twice here. So we're hitting 6 times. So there's 3. Boom, boom, boom. Beautiful. And then she will go ahead and cast again because we have a 100% chance of it casting again. And there we go. 2 bouts of damage, decent damage as well. And remember, the Cloud Wanderers are a very buff-heavy faction as well. There's a lot of abilities that buff damage, and that's going to affect Astoria as well. So by the time you get into this ability, she will have some type of buffs on her that are going to increase the damage. So keep in mind, the enemy could also have defenses up as well. So double-edged sword. Moving into Astoria's second ability, we have Good Omen. Astoria's light allies always hit, and their attacks cannot be dodged for 3 turns. Light allies receive 3 stacks of a buff, increasing critical damage by 35%. 1 stack is spent each time critical damage is dealt. So this is a fairly big, and it's very simple to understand. That's what I love about the Cloud Wanderers the most. I'm not trying to sell them. I just really love how simple the characters are. It just makes things a lot easier. So, like I said, even though she's a range damager, she comes off heavy as a mage/support unit. Again, it's the theme, I think, of the faction, and it's a fairly decent support ability. 3 turns of just guaranteed hits, I think, is massive, and when you take into consideration you have a character like Theodore, so many names in the game now, Theodore, who gets guaranteed crit strike, and now he's getting buffed as well with crit damage increase. It's pretty big. So we're going to go ahead and cast this, and Theodore will get his turn next. So we'll cast the buff, and we'll just have a bit of a play around. We'll see what Theodore can achieve with the guaranteed crit rate and the guaranteed crit damage increase as well. So we'll go ahead and use his second ability, and bang. Some pretty big numbers there. And then he's also got the static up as well. It's a pretty good combo. If you have to pair characters on this team who works really well with each other, Theodore and Astoria, I think they work really well. They both have really high speed. Most likely they're going to be going first in the battle and get a big bout of damage out before the fight even really starts. So it's a pretty good synergy between those 2 characters. Moving on to Astoria's third ability, we have Star Rays. This ability starts on a 1-turn cooldown, so you cannot use it at the beginning of the fight. It is a flying skill, deals 5 strikes in a row to 1 target. The chance of dealing critical damage with this skill is increased by 30%. Now, when you remember she's got a 47% base crit rate, this is a 40, 50, 70, 77? Is it 77? Is that math correct? 77% chance of dealing critical damage. Critical damage is increased by 8% per light ally, assuming it counts herself. That's a 40% boost in damage. So the crit damage as well. So it's not only a pretty big damage dealer, it buffs itself immensely. It just gives itself steroids because why not? It just wants to. It's like, you know what? This ability is awesome. Let's make it better. Let's just give it as much damage potential as we can. Now, the one part about the ability I love the most, however, is the first part. Deals 5 strikes in a row to one target. I love abilities that deal multiple instances of damage in a single turn. And the best way to explain this is if you have a character like Exariel on the enemy, who when an ally is taken down to fatal damage, they gain immortality for 8 hits. So you can strike that target 8 turns before you can actually kill it. When you have an ability like this, you can remove 5 stacks from one ability because it counts as 5 different strikes. So I really, really like abilities where they can attack multiple times in the same ability. So yeah, we'll go ahead and look at the animation now as well. So we'll jump over and attack. Let's attack Siegfried and have a look at the damage. So here we go. She doesn't have any buffs on her at the moment, but that's fine. The ability gets huge damage anyway. There we go. Ah! Crazy. That's a lot of damage. That is a lot of damage. And remember, she doesn't have the buffs that come with the faction yet. That is going to come through the turn before it comes back to her, and she will be a buff unit when this ability is ready to use, and it's going to do a lot more damage. So keep that in mind as well. Other than that, beautiful. Just very simple again. Easy to understand. Pretty straightforward. Nothing confusing about it. You're not trying to learn a new language by reading the ability. Finally, we have Astoria's passive Stargazer. At the start of the round, casts a debuff on all enemies that increases damage taken from magical attacks by 35% for 3 turns. This effect cannot be removed before it ends. So, like I said, magic theme through the team, massive damage on the enemy, extra 35% damage on top of the buffs you're getting for your faction. Each time an ally uses a flight skill, Astoria's initiative increases by 40%. So there we go. Another very simple ability to understand, and it just makes her a lot stronger. So yeah, she's a very interesting character. Let's talk about her, but before we do, we're going to just do a little playthrough, a little battle. So we'll get rid of the Stargazer from the screen, and we're going to verse the Knights of the Council. Now, I'm not going to use this team optimally. I don't want to do that. I'm not so much caring about a victory in this fight. We know they can win. I've already shown it in a video. What I want to do is just use the flight skills to just get Astoria going. So we're going to buff our characters. Let's boost this up to a 2x speed. Such beautiful animations on her as well. We're going to go ahead and use our flight skill. Now, personally, I wouldn't use this ability first. I would use this ability first. But again, like I said, we're just going to use that 40% initiative. There she goes. She gets 40%. Wonderful. Big damage on the Librarian already. Wonderful. Okay, we're going to go ahead and use the flying skill again. Cast 6 stacks. Yeah, let's just go ahead and use it. Beautiful. Remember, Theodore is going to get bonus turns every time you use a flying skill. So she's going to get a turn in a second. We'll use Roxanne. And now it's her turn again. Now we can use Star Rays. It's wasted on Siegfried. He's just got such immense resistance to both defense and magical attacks. But what does it matter? We get turns on her so quickly. So we are going to use it. It's okay. Doesn't do a whole bunch of damage, but that's fine. We still get the Theodore support with it. And then Eva is going to come and she's going to rip through. She does a lot of damage. Jean's going to resurrect. That's okay. That's fine. Siegfried gets his defense out. We'll get 2 bouts of damage here. 1, 2. Wonderful. Getting rid of some of the buffs. We're going to go ahead and get an AoE here. Jean getting quite low. Honestly, Eva dies, she'll bring back the 3. Such a strong faction. There we go. We take out 2 characters. We're going to go ahead and get some hots out. We lose the Eva, but that's okay. We win at this point. We'll get 2 attacks again. That should take out the Brynhild. And even though that's Siegfried, we haven't been able to pass him. We have not been able to bypass that Siegfried still. This team has just got so much significant damage outside of the main target. It's ridiculous. There we go. We trigger the static there, and we can just go through and kill the Siegfried finally and finish off with... And honestly, I don't believe I used that team as optimally as I could. Optimally as I could. I know words. I can speak words. And there you go. So, That is the primary 5 characters of the Cloud Wanderers. There's still 2 characters to come to the team. We do not know who they are or how they will benefit the faction, or if there will be characters that can be used elsewhere in different squads. We do not know, but this is the 5 primary for now. Notes about the Cloud Wanderers. I think the Cloud Wanderers, though they are very stat heavy, I think it goes to show that we do not need overcomplicated heroes. I just don't think it's necessary. These characters, as simple as they are, have, I think, some of the best synergy as a team. They are almost void of RNG. They don't have a 20% chance to lock down enemies if you remove X amount of buffs. They don't have crazy stuff like that. There's 15% chance per Cloud Wanderer. Every ability is going to do what it says. I think that is a massive bonus to the faction as well. I think, and I'm not bagging on the dev team at all, please don't take that from this. I think definitely, though, that this is a faction that should be looked at in the future when creating other teams. They're simple, they're elegant, they're beautiful. Animation-wise, they're stunning. I think anyone can understand them. There's not going to be any confusion about how things work. I think overall, this is probably one of the best teams that work as a faction to come in a long time. So that's my 2 cents on it. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions, feel free to leave a comment below. I will answer it to the best of my ability. And wherever you are in the world, until next time, please take care of yourself.